Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back to another video with a guy and his projects. Today we are working on the 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokee WJ limited 4.7 liter V8, and we are we're relocating the washer fluid reservoir. For those of you who don't know, and those of you who do, the washer fluid reservoir in this Jeep is located right in front of the front driver tire. It sits inside the bumper, which for a normal person driving on the freeway, not an issue typically speaking. For somebody that lives in South Dakota where the temperatures get to negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit and you try to go play on some trails, even light duty trails, you end up ripping that washer fluid reservoir out or ripping the electrical out from the pumps or the hoses. And then you put on an aftermarket bumper or a DIY create your own, build your own bumper such as we did. Ours is a mixture of both. It was a kit that I modified. And the washer fluid reservoir just gets ripped out really easy. So what we did today is we relocated that into the engine bay in a much more strategic, easy position where it doesn't freeze as much. It thaws out faster when it does freeze, and it doesn't get ripped out on a regular basis. All right, so you guys may have noticed I am not outside. I am not in the trees. I'm not in the woods. Today I am in the garage because it has been windy for like a month straight, and the times when it's not windy, it's been raining or snowing or hailing or sleeting, and the weather just hasn't been friendly for doing this video outdoors. So voiceover inside today. I've waited and I've waited and I've waited for the weather to cooperate with me also having enough time to do this video, just not working out. So I apologize if there's a bunch of freeway noise in the background. That's the whole reason we don't do the audio in the garage anymore in the first place. It's also very windy outside today and this garage is full of leaks. I'm hoping that with the mic we are good. We're gonna find out. I'll find out first, but I'm not gonna redo this because I've waited a long time to film this voiceover. Okay, so relocating the washer fluid reservoir was pretty easy and is fairly inexpensive. I'm sure you can do this cheaper than the way I did it. I kind of just pieced it together and it worked out. So the one I've got right here, this is a new one. I bought it online, I think on Amazon. I'll link it down below, and it's a generic fit specifically for a ZJ. It's a generic fit in that it's not an exact fit. The mounting holes and stuff might not be perfect, and they disclose that in the ad. But I decided to take the chance, and I bought this. So it does come with two brand new pumps, and it comes with a fluid sensor, a level sensor, which my Jeep has, and I wanted to replace that. These pumps I could not make fit in the location that I mounted in the engine bay, so I had to buy two new pumps. I will link those down below as well. And I was able to reuse the level sensor from the old reservoir. So in my Jeep, I've got this little emissions vacuum thing, test port, I don't know what it is. It's in the way. I just removed the two screws holding it to the fender, and I just kind of kinked it out of the way. It doesn't really kink, I bent it really easy. I did not kink it. And ultimately I just moved that out of the way for now. We'll get back to it though. So the next thing I did before I started ripping things apart is I wanted to fit the reservoir in place just to make sure it was going to work, and it does. Again, not with the two supplied pumps. The pumps I bought worked out perfect. I will link those below like I mentioned. The sensor in the back ends up coming in contact with the brake drum, the booster, drum booster, brake booster, whatever you want to call it. Kind of came in contact with that, made it for a tight fit, but it still fit. Everything was good, and I decided to go ahead and proceed. So in order to get this done, I went ahead and removed the front driver's tire just to give myself some more elbow space. I don't think you need to do that. And when you're looking at your sensor, your fluid reservoir, yours might be a little bit different. I have a lot less stuff in the way, mainly a bumper and wheel well liner. But here is your sensor and your pumps. I don't know which pump goes to the front and which one goes to the rear. Doesn't really matter at this point. Mine also looks kind of disgustingly black. That's because when I put on the new off-road bumper situation, that white tank just looked really odd, and I spray painted it, which did not hold, and it looks horrible. Don't spray paint your washer fluid reservoir without prepping it first. It didn't work out. Once you're down in here, you're going to want to disconnect your pumps and your sensor. All that's got to go. I went ahead and removed the sensor, which was hard. I'd been sitting there for 20 years in a wheel well full of salt, grime, grossness, nastiness, gross, whatever-ish. And it was difficult. I sprayed some WD-40 in there, let it soak a little bit, and it did come out. But it was, I bent a fingernail. Yeah, I know, big deal. But it did come out. Same thing with the two pumps. Clean them up, spray some air in there, maybe some cleaner, some WD-40, wiggle them around at some really old, brittle, dry plastic, and it might want to break. So be gentle, but firm. Firm but gentle at the same time. So once you've got that, you can pull the hoses off. You're going to want to drain the fluids, have a pan to catch it. It's cheap enough that I just bought new stuff and let this drain. But have yourself a bucket or a catch pan of some sort ready to go. So there's a couple tabs holding the wheel well liner in place. You're going to want to undo those. And then you're going to have a couple of 10mm bolts holding in the reservoir itself. On the bottom, you're going to want to remove those, and then up on the filler neck in a really hard to get location, there's another 10mm. It was a pain in the butt to get to, and I don't know that the camera got it, so just go up to the neck, find the 10mm, and get that off. However you're going to do that, if I remember right, this is over a month ago now, I used a wrench, a ratcheting, no I didn't, I think I used a ratchet, and it was just a pain in the butt, but it does come out. And I just got notified that UPS dropped off my packages. So now that you've got all the bolts out, you've got the tabs undone, you can kind of finagle that washer fluid reservoir out going down. You want to go down. Up, it ain't going to happen. There ain't no way it's going up. So it's going to come down, and go ahead and pull that out. So my fog lights were kind of mixed in and tied into the wiring for the pumps. Yours may or may not be, depending on options. I don't know how that worked out. So I had to disconnect those, and then I respliced them in afterwards. Easy peasy, just snip, strip, splice, crimp, and moved on for my fog lights. Fog lights. I have the yellow ones. There's a video on that. Check it out. All right, so at this point, you got your new reservoir kind of dry fit in place. We removed the old one. Now all that electrical and the hoses I pulled up out of the bumper area and into the engine bay. The two new pumps I went ahead and plugged in place. Those worked out great. I put a little wheel bearing grease on there just to slide them in, and they slid in pretty easy. The old ones were kind of hard to come out, but they weren't lubed, so that, you know, there's that. So the wires for the sensor, if you're keeping your sensor, you might have to do this too. I couldn't quite get them to reach all the way back, so I had to cut those and add in a good amount of wire, probably 8 inches or so of wire, to get that to reach the back of the new reservoir. Again, very easy, not complicated. Cut the wires. Well, you want to strip back the plastic, the encasement. Cut the wires, strip them. Add in your new wire, splice, and you're good to go. I had to do that. The pump wires both reached. I didn't have to extend either of the pumps, but if you do, again, easy, just get yourself 6 inches of wire, cut, strip, splice, crimp, go on about your life. Not a big deal. So the emissions thingy was kind of last. I kind of just shoved that around in place, found a good spot where the hoses weren't being kinked, but they were definitely more bent than they were before, and I kind of shoved it in under the air box a little bit, and there it stays. I didn't zip tie it down or nothing, but it seems to sit just fine. Like I said, I did this about a month ago, and everything is still just great. I grabbed some self-tappers, and I actually self-tapped the reservoir to the fender. I had to make some new holes, obviously. Careful how you do that. Make sure you're not poking through. I used some shorties, and I filled it up. it doesn't leak. It holds exactly a gallon of windshield washer fluid. That brings it to the very tippy top, so I probably won't ever put a full gallon in again, but it works out great. Everything works. The pumps work, the sensor works, everything works, no leaks, and I'm happy. So like I said, I will link all that stuff down below. Yeah, I got no problems with it, and it's not being ripped out of my bumper no more. Guys, remember, all of my videos, I have all the parts I use linked down in the description below. As an Amazon affiliate, I get a little kickback when you go click on a link and buy something in a certain time frame and all this other stuff. You don't have to buy what I link. You just have to buy something after clicking on the link and before you click on somebody else's link. I also have Zelle and PayPal linked below if you want to donate your hard-earned money to the channel to keep these videos coming. Typically, if I'm posting less, it's either because I'm running low on time for other stuff, or I don't have funds to buy stuff to make more videos. So, donate if you'd like, watch, leave a comment, thumbs up, let me know what you think, and keep coming back for more, and I'll keep posting to the best of my ability, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later. I suppose I could probably actually show you, because I don't remember. It's been long enough since I filmed this that I don't remember what all footage I took. So let me get you guys a little close up here of how this is. Tripod in the way. All right, so you see the reservoir's right there, worked out great. It's full of some purple fluid, and I got this guy just kind of pinched down in there, and she's doing just fine. Big old huge cap, so it's easy to pour in there, and yeah, we're good to go. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.